Many people think that money is the source of all evil because it makes wealthy people avaricious. Although money itself is not inherently evil, how individuals utilize it can have adverse consequences. But the question here is, how do we know when we became slaves of money? Well, to answer that, we have compiled 15 symptoms that money is controlling you. Starting off with number 1. Instead of considering what you gain for the money, you consider how much an item costs. You solely worry about the price and have no interest in quality, workmanship, or long-term worth. You are keen about the amount of money that will be removed from your wallet, and you stop if that amount makes you uneasy. With everything you possess costing what you decide it should cost, and you being too protective of it, you end up with nothing of true quality, from the mattress you sleep onto the shoes you wear. As a result, you wind up with nothing of true quality. Just a quick disclaimer, basically, we're not talking about folks who are struggling to make ends meet and need to be super careful with their spending. We are talking about people who are doing pretty well for themselves. They've got decent jobs and earn more than the average Joe. Number 2. You are allergic to paying extra fees. Always expect unforeseen expenses or price increases that you didn't really plan for or even consider. Most of the time, these situations are whatever, but when money rules you, you have a whole different mindset toward them. The cost of an Uber has increased since you last checked 10 minutes ago, so you would prefer to stay at home instead of leaving. A gas station's public restroom has a fee. You would prefer to holding it until you get home. A bottle of water is now slightly more expensive, so you would prefer to spend an hour looking around for something that is more reasonably priced. Small things like these drive you crazy since there is nothing more you could do that would affect your life. Number 3. Your convenience is not something you pay for. When you are under the influence of money, you become more tolerant of inconveniences because you don't want to spend money to make them go away. You would rather try to fix the plumbing in your home on your own rather than hire a plumber, and you would prefer to walk for an hour rather than pay someone to transport you there in 10 minutes. You develop a "I'm sure I can do it myself and it's free too" mindset, which over time results in both increased spending and the loss of opportunities to improve your quality of life. Number 4. You build a financial fantasy world. Begin imagining what you would do and how you would spend the millions of cash you would win from the lottery. What type of car would you drive and where would you live if you were a millionaire? You put yourself in a financial limbo where you are prosperous and successful, daydreaming about it often but doing nothing to really make it happen. You don't care about the product itself. All that matters is that millions of dollars magically appear in your bank account overnight. Winning the lottery, writing the next Harry Potter, developing the next Facebook are all the ways you can think of to become a millionaire. Number 5. Your health is not your priority. You start to disregard fundamental health care when money becomes your only concern. You prefer to put up with the physical discomfort than the financial trouble since you believe you can heal from an injury without having to spend any money on it. That's one reason why people in their 30s behave as if they are in their 80s. Number 6. Expensive costs offend you. If expensive goods upset you, then you are under the sway of money. Questioning the value proposition in proportion to the asking price is one thing, but coming out as offensive is quite another. A high price will make someone under the influence of money ask in a sarcastic tone, "Will this thing fly too?" They believe that pricey goods are reserved for those who value wealth above intelligence. They create a severely distorted worldview by dividing the population into two groups: those who can afford it and those who cannot. Number 7. You ponder what more you may have been able to do with it. You'll immediately know when money is controlling you when you look at the money you have and feel like it's the last you'll ever have. You set the goal aside and you start thinking about how to stretch it as far as you can. You start comparing various ways to spend that money in the most effective way possible, which impairs your judgment and prevents you from using it for anything because you are constantly asking yourself, "What if there is something else more important that I should buy?" As a result, your entire life revolves around deciding what to buy with your hard-earned money. You see, once you start doing this, you stop enjoying life. You'll constantly think, "Why would I go buy extra toilet rolls when I can use the free tissue I get from restaurants? Why should I invest in a pricey refrigerator when I can just buy secondhand?" From then, things get worse as money starts to rule your thoughts. You will develop this mental habit which will accompany you everywhere. Number 8. You only purchase items that are on sale and at a discount. You are the major target of sales strategies because you buy anything that is on sale because you believe you are tricking the system and believe that by purchasing 1+1 deals, you are multiplying the worth of your money. You are being duped since, in actuality, you don't need half of the goods you purchase. Number 9. You believe becoming wealthy would make you happy. When you are under the power of money, your degree of satisfaction is directly connected to how much you believe you ought to earn. It's an imagined number that shifts yearly. It starts out small. You think you'd be content with $100,000 in your bank account, which would cover some of your debt, if not all of it, along with some bills for a while, or you could buy a new car and stop driving that old rusty one. Then, the amount increases to $500,000 because you want to buy a house as well as without becoming a slave to the bank. Finally, the amount increases to $1 million because you'd never have to worry again. It goes on like this until you reach a point where you believe that the only way to be happy is to be filthy rich and never have to worry about anything again, which is obviously untrue. Number 10. You think that all wealthy people are bad. When you believe that all wealthy people are dishonest and that they all deceive and defraud others, you'll know that money has full influence over you. You think that there is only a finite quantity of money in the world and that the wealthy few have already taken most of it. You feel as though you have lost the fight and are left with no choice but to keep going round in circles in the rat race while berating the cosmos for dealing you such a poor hand. Number 11. You're constantly trying to get rich quick. If money has you under control, you'll do everything to get richer. You'll go above and beyond to trouble yourself for nothing more than an additional dollar. For a tiny pay raise, you'll take on more work, sleep less, and work extra. You'll believe that producing money is exceedingly hard and that the only viable options are pain and exhaustion. Additionally, this leaves you open to financial fraud and other people taking advantage of you. Number 12. You want people to assume that you earn far more money than you actually do. as you only provide flimsy indications of what you do and start to avoid discussing your job or your wage and tend to create the impression that there is more to you than meets the eye. You start acting like other people when you do this, and you start spending more money on appearances to maintain the facade. And now, your behavior and how you show yourself to the world are dictated by money. Number 13. You believe your pay is inadequate. You strongly feel you are underpaid regardless of how much money you make a year. You start blaming greedy CEOs, hungry businesses, and overpaid managers who won't pay you what you're worth. You stop considering your value as a contributor or the influence your skill set has, and instead, you begin to feel entitled just for having shown up. You won't take action without a benefit to you. Number 14. You evaluate people depending on their income. As we previously mentioned, when money becomes your god, you divide the world between those who can afford it and those who cannot. You place everyone in a financial hierarchy and use it to assess each person's character because you are unable to look beyond it. You place those who earn more than you above and those who earn less than you below you. At this point, money starts to overwhelm you and alter who you are as a person. Ask yourself frequently, who's the richest person in the room whenever you're with more people? And last but definitely not the least, number 15. You contrast your earnings with those of others. Continuing from the last point, when you begin to criticize people based on their income, you inevitably compare yourself to them and begin to have unwarranted animosity toward those who earn more. They aren't really that exceptional after all, are they? Why do they earn more than you when they aren't better than you, smarter than you, or working harder than you? It isn't fair. At least that is how the story is told. Let's end this video with a quick sentiment. If you allow money to dominate you, regardless of how much or how little you earn, you will always fight with it. Due to the fact that you update your life at the same pace you upgrade your salary, it never seems like your life is changing, which is why you still see individuals living paycheck to paycheck after receiving several promotions. While having money may open up many opportunities and benefits, it's crucial to be aware of any potential drawbacks and work toward a balanced view of riches and material goods. And that wraps up today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video. And make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications as always. To follow Lockzoid on social media, please review the links in the text description of this video. Thank you in advance for your feedback. I am Miss Luxurious, signing off for now. Do not forget to visit our YouTube luxury channel Lockzoid to explore the exemplification of the great state of comfort and extravagant living.